You requested it, and here it is. Want to shoot faster, more accurately, and not spend a fortune at the range? Today we're unlocking the secret world of dry fire training. And guess what? It's way more fun and way more important than you think. I'll show you drills you can do right at home to instantly level up your shooting skills, starting at beginner level and working all the way up to advanced concepts. Save this video and refer back to it often as you progress through your dry fire journey. Chapters have been added for your convenience. Plus, we'll cover critical safety rules because, let's be honest, dry fire done wrong can wreck your gear or worse. And if you want to gear up like a pro, check the Amazon links in the description for some killer dry fire tools I personally use. Many have asked me, do I need these extra tools and gadgets to dry fire? The answer is no. You can level up significantly without them, but they do allow you to take your dry fire and overall training to a much higher level and make it much more fun. All right, let's get into it. Safety first. Rule number 1, treat every firearm like it's loaded. Rule number 2, never point at anything you don't want to kill or destroy. Rule number 3, finger off the trigger until ready to fire. Rule number 4, know your target and what's beyond it. And rule number 5, no live ammo nearby when dry firing. When you dry fire, do it in a designated safe area. No live ammo in the room, period. Empty mags, empty chamber, no loose rounds. Once clear, check everything again. And always dry fire towards something that would safely stop a bullet, just in case, like a brick wall or a heavy safe. Okay, let's get to the drills. Beginner drills. Now, these are your basic dry fire drills. These are the fundamentals. So try to commit to at least 5 minutes a day to quality dry fire, and you will see major improvements. Make it part of your routine like making coffee or brushing your teeth. So safety first, confirm your firearm is clear. So I'm gonna take a moment now, pull out my firearm. I'm going to confirm that there's nothing in the chamber. I'm gonna touch and make sure there's absolutely nothing in the chamber. There's no ammunition around me, and I am clear and ready to go. Once you're comfortable with the drills, start using a shot timer or a shot timer app to add some stress and randomness. I will use both an outside the waistband holster as well as my inside the waistband concealed carry holster. All right, first we'll focus on the grip. So if you take your firearm and go as high as you can under that back beaver tail here, get your hand as high as you can without going up over the slide. And you can have your finger above the trigger guard. And on the opposite side here, you're gonna have your thumb up. And that's gonna leave all this space open here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your wrist and lock it down. So if I rotate up and then down, and I'm gonna sandwich that flat against that spot. I want the palm right here to touch right here. And I want both thumbs pointing forward. So if you look at it from above, and then from the opposite side, these fingers squeeze in tight. And this thumb can rest on the other thumb, or it can be up by the slide, whatever's more comfortable. Now, the other thing I'm gonna add to grip is if you picture taking a horseshoe, you're taking that and you're trying to bend it. You're trying to bend it in half. You wanna do the same thing with your grip. So you have that good grip we just talked about. You have your wrist locked down. This space right here is gonna be taken up by your palm, flat against the gun. And now pretend like you're bending that horseshoe. You see my elbows will rotate in a little bit. Rotate in a little bit. And what that's doing is that's putting vice pressure on each side of the firearm here, helping to stabilize the top. So to see it again from the side, I'm stabilizing in like I'm trying to twist a horseshoe. And from the other side, trying to twist a horseshoe. And it makes a nice, solid, tight grip. Now, once you get comfortable with the grip, then what you're gonna try and do is draw from the holster and attain that grip. And you wanna do that over and over again. And obviously you wanna be very careful when you're going in and out. It's not about speed, it's about accuracy and smoothness. All right, so once you're comfortable with your grip, now you wanna work it with your holster. Or if you don't have a holster, you can work it off of a table. Just set your firearm on the table and just pick it up and try and attain that grip. Sit it back down, pick it up and try and attain that grip, and just do that over and over again. So what it looks like for the inside the waistband holster is I'm going to clear my garment first. I'm gonna get a good, nice grip on that handle. I'm gonna draw, and I'm gonna bring it to high compressed ready. And at high compressed ready, I should have 99% of that grip. You can see there, I have my finger above the trigger guard because I'm not ready to shoot yet. I have these fingers of my weak hand digging into that strong hand. And I have my palm sandwiched against the side of the gun there with my thumbs pointed forward. So just gonna work that a few times. Nice and slow, controlled. Get that grip, put it back in. And by the way, whenever you're putting your firearm back in your holster, especially within the waistband, you wanna look down at it and you wanna do it slow. So you would pull your garment out of the way just like when you pull it out in the first place. Look down, find your holster, and carefully put it in. Holstering your gun is not about speed at all. It's about safety. So what this might look like real time. Put it back in. So for example, if I were to draw like this, and it's sloppy, and it's taking me a lot of time, and it still doesn't feel right, I would slow down. I would just go right back to where I was, clear the shirt, get that grip, clear everything else, marry the hands up. Now, a lot of instructors will teach you to take your weak hand and slide across your strong hand and then kind of vice them together like you're twisting the gun into position with them going opposite directions. So see it again real time. One more. Then next, from compressed tie ready, we're gonna clean press out, get our sights on target, and then we're gonna focus on the sight alignment and the sight picture. I did a video covering how to aim with a pistol recently, and you can go back and watch that for reference if you need to. So get ready. Here's your high compressed ready position. From here, you're just gonna press out and find either your dot or your sights. Come back to high compressed ready. Press out, find your sights. Press out, find your sights. Now what you wanna do is if you're not seeing the sights on the target and they're not aligned, you wanna slow down. So for example, I'm pushing out slower. I'm watching my sights. I'm making sure they align. Okay, so I kind of know how that feels. So let's do it again. I'm going out, nice and slow, aligning it. Okay, now I kind of have a feel for it. So now I can speed up a little bit. Okay. Okay, and as long as you're hitting that, then you can keep speeding up and testing yourself. And now you want to make sure you're doing this at a target. And that target can be a light switch, it can be a doorknob, it can be an actual target, but you want to make sure you have something to put that aligned sight on. Okay, now the next progression, after you've successfully been able to get that grip, and you can successfully get your sight picture and your sight alignment, the next step is to take the slack out of your trigger, or bringing your trigger to the wall, they call it. So if I pull out again, I get in that ready position. So what I'm going to do is, as I'm coming up, I'm going to remove any slack from the trigger. Don't pull the trigger, just remove the slack. And now do it again. High compress ready, going out finding your sights, removing any slack along the way. And your goal is to be at the wall of your trigger by the time you get to the top of your movement. Do it again. And back off. On, take the slack out, and back off. On, take the slack out, and back off. And I'm tapping here to remind you to keep your finger off the trigger. And last, for the basic fundamentals, is a clean press from your holster and focus on your form. Speed will come with reps. So what I'm talking about here is you're going to do your draw from your holster. So we'll go slow. Clear the garment, get your grip, high compressed ready, go out, remove the slack from the trigger. Get my grip, clear everything, high compressed ready, and as I push out to get my sight, I'm going to take the slack away from the trigger. Okay? And do that again. So we're going to clear the garment, get a grip, clear everything, high compressed ready, and as you press out to get your sights aligned and get your sight picture, you're going to take away the slack from your trigger and get to the wall. And now your goal is to be able to speed this up a little bit without actually pulling the trigger and having control there. So I am on target, I have a good grip, and I have the wall of my trigger ready to go. Let's do it again. One more time. All right, now we get to our first real drill. This is the perfect press drill. Your goal is a smooth trigger pull without moving your sights. So for this one, you're gonna be in your high compress ready. You're gonna already be out on your target with your sights aligned. You're just going to do a nice, steady, smooth press. And now in this case, since I'm not using the Dryfire mag for this demonstration because I want to make it more accessible, I'm going to have to rack the slide. Now we're ready to go again. I'm already going to be out. I'm already on target. I already have sight alignment. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to count to 3 as I pull the trigger slowly. 1, 2, 3, and it breaks. My goal is that when I actually pull the trigger, my red dot in this case should not be moving all over the place. There might be some movement, which is natural, but it shouldn't move much. It should still be on the target or pretty darn close. Go again. Get your target. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you're having a really hard time with the trigger, or if you have a really hard trigger, count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it breaks naturally whenever it wants to. You don't want to slap it and force it to go. You want to let it go on its own. So we're going to go again. Get on target. Get your dot or your sights aligned on it. If you have irons, pull the trigger. 1, 2, 3. And you should make it so that dot or those irons aren't moving. Now, one tip I've seen is using the air trigger. And that's where you never pin the trigger to the back during dry fire. You press until it breaks, and then you immediately pull your finger off. And here's how it looks. You're going to be up on your trigger. When the finger goes in, you shoot and immediately lift your finger up. And the way this would look from the side view, I'm going to pull that trigger and immediately lift my finger off of it. Do it again. Pull the trigger, immediately lift my finger off of it. Now, if you do it multiple times to simulate multiple shots, that's what it would look like. And what this is doing is this is teaching you to not pin your trigger back, which is a very bad thing for accuracy. It can also cause malfunctions. Now, the tip is to think slow is smooth and smooth is fast. You're building precision here. 1, 2, 3. Do it again. 1, 2, 3. And now next up we have the target transition drill. So you can have multiple targets this time, and it can be multiple light switches, it can be pieces of tape on the wall, it can be real targets. But what you want to do is you want to get set up in a comfortable way, you want to have a good grip, you want to present properly, get a good sight picture, and you want to break that trigger without disturbing the sights. And you want to do that on the first target, and then move on to your second target and do an air trigger. Now, if you have a firearm that has a resetting trigger like the Dryfire mag, then you can pull an actual full trigger pull on both targets. And you can have more than 2 targets, but you want a minimum of 2. So when high compress ready to fire, we're going to go first target, then second target. And what you want to do is any movement you do is going to be eyes first, followed by the gun and the sights. Eyes, gun and sights. Eyes, gun and sights. Now, this builds speed and target acquisition. I would highly recommend doing this one several times until you get used to it. You want to make sure it's very important. The eyes move first and then the firearm. And you want to get that so that's smooth. All right, now next we have the draw to the first shot drill. So from your concealed carry or duty holster, you're going to draw, you're going to present, and you're going to do one perfect shot. That shot means that your sights are aligned on the target and they're not moving the sights when you pull the trigger. So here's an example of slow motion. Make sure you're ready to go. So we're going to do this slow first. Clear the garment, or if you're going from outside, get your grip. You're going to clear. High compress ready. As you're going out, you're taking the slack away from your trigger, getting to that wall. You're getting proper sight alignment and sight picture. And then you're going to count to 3 for beginners. Otherwise, if you already have a smooth press, go ahead. Count to 3 and break your shot. Now we're going to speed it up a little bit. Clear the garment, get your grip, high compress ready, take your slack out, boom. And once you get to the point where you're comfortable, you can speed things up at a timer, whatever you need to do. So in my case, I like to start up here, I'm like, hey, I don't want any problems. Hey, I don't want any problems. And remember, it's all about smoothness, not speed. Once you get comfortable with the motions and you get the technique down, the speed will come. And make sure when you get to the top that you're not pulling that trigger until you actually have that sight picture. All right, now through the power of editing, I now have my outside the waistband holster. This is my battle belt. In this case, I have switched firearms, so now I'm going to double check and make sure this one is clear. There's nothing in the chamber. There's no ammo near me. This one is good to go. All right, now for this next drill, we're going to be doing reloads. You want to make sure you have a completely 100% empty magazine, the proper one for that firearm, and you want to have that already in there. Now in my case, I have a backup one. This one has one dummy round in it. I'm gonna have that in here, ready to go. So there's many different ways you can do this drill, but we'll do the easiest. If you lock your slide back and have it out as though you just fired your last shot. This is an emergency reload. So in this case, you're gonna bring it to your workspace. Your workspace is basically within your vision, but not blocking your vision. And what you wanna do with this is this gives you visibility into the gun, any malfunctions, the mag well, so you can actually see where you're putting it, and you can still scan and see everything around you. All right, so you're out here, you're spent, come into your workspace, drop your old mag, grab your new mag and index it. And the way you index this is you want to have your index finger over the backbone and have a nice sturdy grip. And the reason you want to do this is because if it's dark, you can still feel where that mag well is with your finger, and then you can drive it home. So again, we're going to the workspace, dropping that magazine, grabbing the new one, finding that spot, inserting, releasing the slide, then you're back in business. All right, let's do that again for the setup. Lock your slide back, put an empty mag in. You're in position, you just fired your last shot. Come to your workspace, drop that magazine, index the new one, marry them together. Then you're gonna go back and you can rack the slide, or you can release the slide with the slide release button. Going back on target, nice control press. All right, let's set that up one more time. Lock your slide back, take your mag, insert it. You're on your target, you just spent your last round. Come to your workspace, release that slide, index your new magazine. You can look and watch it go in. Now, a lot of people here will slap this. Whether you do it or not is up to you, but some instructors believe that can cause a malfunction. So what some instructors will do instead of slapping it in is they will just smoothly press it all the way in and make sure it clicks, and that's it. All right, we're set up again. We're on target. Go to workspace, reload, get you a nice clean shot. Back to high compress ready. You have a lot of these guys that have these battle belts that have 4 and 5 of magazines on here, especially competition guys, and that allows you to do multiple in a row. So the way that looks, you're out here, you just fired your last shot, come to your workspace, get your next one in, fire, come to your workspace, get your last one in, rack it. Now that was an emergency reload. That's when you run completely out of ammunition and you have to immediately swap out to another magazine. There's also a tactical reload. Now a tactical reload is when you have more time. You may still have a few rounds left in your current mag, but you want a fresh magazine for the action you're going into. All right, now for your tactical reload, you decide you're gonna change it. You're like, hey, I got a few rounds, I got some time, I'm in a safe place, I have cover. You're gonna come back to your workspace. You're gonna grab your magazine first. You're gonna index it. You're gonna move your index finger to the same side as your thumb over here, and that creates a little pincher. You're gonna come to your gun. You're gonna release and pull the old one out and slap that new one in. Press with your palm. And now you have a fresh magazine full of ammo here. And you have this backup one. This may or may not have rounds in it, but you definitely don't want to put this back in your #1 spot. Typically, this is going to go in your dump pouch or a magazine holder further back. All right, let's do that one a little bit more real time. So you're out. You decide you want to change it. You're going to grab the backup, swap it, get back on target. And now while I'm on target, making sure I can still see the threat, I'm putting that in my other pouch. Now, smooth and consistent reloads can save your life. You want to be in your workspace right here, clear side of your firearm. You want to make sure you're indexing that magazine so it goes right in your well every time. Intermediate drills. All right, so first thing we're going to do is one-handed dry fire. We're going to do strong and weak hand. We're going to typically do both sides and try to make it so you can shoot with both. Now, shooting one-handed is hard, especially with live ammunition. Practice strong hand only and support hand only. So what that looks like is you're going to go from your high compress ready, make sure you're ready to go. And when you go up, it's going to be just your strong hand. Have a nice steady grip. Get your red dot or your irons on the target. Good sight alignment, good sight picture. And pull that trigger over 3. 1, 2, 3. And your goal with this is to also not move at all. There's going to be some movement. That's just the way it is. When you breathe or your heart's beating or anything else, it will move the dot a little bit. But your goal is once you get that sight picture and that dot or the irons are on there, then when you pull that trigger, it barely moves. All right, let's do it again. One arm. Boom. Do it again. Strong arm. Don't disturb those sights. Do it again. Strong arm. Don't disturb those sights. You'll see some people, when they go out with their strong arm, you'll see their other hand come to their chest. Don't disturb the sights. Don't disturb the sights. Now you're gonna switch. That was my strong hand, that feels pretty good. But now we're gonna switch. I go to my weak hand. And what I also do to step things up a little bit is I also rack it when I'm on this side. I make it so I can shoot either side. I can switch my grip to right hand or left hand naturally. So I can shoot ambidextrous, I can shoot either one. Obviously my eye is gonna be the same dominant eye, but I can switch back and forth. I can shoot right-handed, or I can swap, and I can shoot left-handed. So if you're comfortable, especially if you're going around corners and you're clearing rooms and things, it's nice to be able to be fluid and switch between those two and switch your grip. All right, so now we're gonna go weak hand. Get your sight picture, nice smooth trigger press over 3, 1, 2, 3. This side will feel significantly more awkward. You want to practice it until it feels natural. And if you are shaking while you're shooting, try not squeezing quite so tight. Squeeze it as hard as you can until you shake, and then loosen just enough till you stop shaking. That's about right. Now I actually put this thumb up. You'll see it on the other side there. I put my thumb up, and that helps me stabilize the gun. Some people shoot like this. Let's do one more. Weak side. Nice sight picture. It's nice sight alignment. Don't let it move. 1, 2, 3. All right, now building on top of this, we're gonna do drawing with your one single hand. And this is also gonna be known as the injury drill. So you're gonna draw from your concealed carry holster or your outside the waistband holster. And you can attempt to do this with your weak hand, but typically it's gonna be a strong hand. But since we're simulating injuries, you wanna test with both. So in this case, I'm gonna get in a comfortable position. Now this is with the outside the waistband holster, so it's not gonna be too difficult. So I'm gonna go, draw, get on target, go back in. Draw, get on target, go back in. And now once you get to the point where that's comfortable, now you can actually start doing some actual firing. So get ready. Same thing, draw, get on target, boom, nice clean shot. Draw, get on target, nice clean shot. And everything still applies here. You want a nice smooth movement. You want to make sure you're getting your sight picture. You don't want to disturb the sights, and you don't want to pull the trigger until you're actually on your target. All right, and just so you don't think I'm taking the easy way out, I'm also going to do it with my concealed carry holster. Same thing. We're going to draw. We have to clear the garment, and we have to grab the firearm with our one and only hand that's working. And because I switched firearms, I'm going to double check, make sure it's clear. Drop the mag. Mag is empty. Lock back the slide. Make sure nothing's in there. We're good to go. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing, but in this case, I can only do it with one hand. So I'm gonna clear my garment. I kind of take my palm and kind of hold it there. Grab your firearm, get a good grip, draw, pull up, take your shot. Now this could also pertain to if you're having to block someone, someone's actually trying to attack you or they're getting close. So say you're here, pull your garment up, I loop around, grip, draw. You can fire from here if you need to, make sure your arm is clear, and then you can present, get your good sight picture, nice smooth press. All right, let's do that one more time. Let's do it real time now. Okay. Do it again. Do it again. All right. So now once your strong side is good, this is where it gets interesting. Now you can try this if you want to. It's not always successful depending on your holster, your flexibility, and your gun and all those type of things. But if you can, try your weak hand. All right, so I'm gonna go slow here. Clear the garment. Grab that grip. Push it against my body. Readjust. Go out. Fire. Now, this isn't necessarily the safest way to do it, but if this arm got shot or you're injured, then this could be a good thing to kind of test out. Would this work? Would this be smooth? If you're being attacked real time, if someone's actually coming after me, you know, by that time, they probably already closed that distance. It's not quite as fast. And you have much more risk of fumbling and dropping the gun if you're doing it that way. But it is something that's good to practice. Now, another thing you can practice is one-handed racking. Now, for whatever reason, if you decide you want to carry without a round in the chamber, you could practice things like this. clear your garment. Get your grip. Clear, rack off your belt, go up and shoot. All right, let's do it again. Clear the garment, rack off your belt. There you go. All right, now anytime you want to move any of this stuff into more advanced, all you have to do is add movement. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to move and then shoot, move and then shoot. So I'm going to start here, make sure I'm ready to go. What I'm going to do, slow first, is I'm going to notice the threat. I'm going to pull up my shirt and get ready. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to step to the side and get off the X, they call it, get you off of the initial path that they're aiming at or attacking. And as you get over here, draw, clear, shoot. Same thing. Now we're going to go to the other side. All right, let's do it again. Okay. Now, I'm taking smaller steps because I'm in camera. I'm trying to stay within the confines of my space here. But if you need to, take a much bigger step. Do it again. It's going to be the same fundamentals. You're going to clear your garment, step, draw, get a good sight picture, pull the trigger. And once you get comfortable and get smooth with it, then you can go faster. Remember, smooth is fast. Now that time, I didn't have it cocked. Now I'm going to leave this in here because I want you to see that this is why you train. Usually, typically, I carry with one in the chamber, so that wouldn't be an issue. But you never know. So here we go. Okay. Go again. All right, so now if you want to kick that up a notch and go to the advanced level, now you're going to add a reload. Now for this one, you're on target, you've run dry. Now you're on the X. The threat's coming. Now you're going to take a step, drop your mag, reload, get on target, boom. All right, now let's do one more. All right, one more. Okay, now we're going to talk about malfunction clearing drills. Now typically, a lot of places don't teach this unless they're military or something similar, but I think civilians need to know this too because you don't want to pull up, click, nothing happens, and you have no idea what to do next. So we're going to cover type 1, 2, and 3 malfunction drills. So the first one, type 1, we can simulate a failure to feed by go ahead and racking your slide, put in a magazine that has one of your snap caps in it. Now what typically happens is that this is not fully seated. So as you can see here, this magazine is not fully seated. I'm just holding that with my pinky. Now if I rack the slide, there's going to be nothing in there. It's empty. So essentially what you're going to do with this drill is you're going to tap and rack. So that's going to make sure that your magazine is seated all the way, and then you're going to rack it to get an actual round in the chamber. All right, so let's set this up again. Rack your slide. You have a dummy round in here that goes in. So the way you know this has happened is if you just racked your slide or you've just dropped your slide with your release and you go up to fire and you pull and it's mushy and nothing happens, that's a pretty good indicator you probably had a failure to feed or your magazine's empty. But just in case, what you're going to do is tap, rack. Now you have a round in the chamber. Now you can go up and continue what you were doing. So let's simulate this again. Rack your slide, put your magazine in. So now you go up to fire, it's mushy, nothing happens. Tap, rack, back in, smooth press. Now next we have our type 2, which is known as the stovepipe. So now this one takes a little bit more care to set up. But what I'll typically do is I will grab the beaver tail, and in this case my optic, and I'll squeeze and make space. And then I will take the dummy round and place it in there. So in a lot of cases, it'll look like that. It's coming out of the top or the side. So the first way is you're going to slide across the top and knock it loose. And if it's on the side, slide across the side and knock it loose. The other way is to tap and rack. But when you rack this, you're going to rack so that it falls to the side. All right, so the first one, you fire, you see a stovepipe, run across the top, that clears it, you're back in, boom. All right, and now your second way, you fire, you see the stovepipe, you're going to tap rack. Tap, and you're going to rack. But you have to make sure you're racking it at an angle or on its side so it can fall out. So let's see that one more time. You fire, you have a stovepipe, you're going to tap, rack, move on, boom. All right, now for the final type, you have the double feed or the type 3. So you're going to take one of your dummy rounds, put it in your barrel. You're going to take one of your magazines with a dummy round in it, insert it, and you're going to gently release that slide onto it. And now what you have is you have one round of the chamber and one round behind it, and they're bumping into each other. All right, so now in this case, you pull the trigger, it's mushy, you look, you see a double feed. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna lock back your slide. You're gonna strip this current mag out. You're gonna reinsert it. You can rack your slide that way, or you can release with your slide release, go back up, and you're back in. All right, so let's set that up one more time. You're gonna put one of your dummy rounds in your barrel. Take another magazine with a dummy in it. Gently release. So you have your double feed. One in the barrel, one trying to go in the chamber. What you're gonna do in this situation, again, you go up, mushy trigger, you check, you see double feed. You're gonna lock your slide back. You're gonna strip out this magazine. That extra bullet will fall out. Put your magazine back in. Rack it. You're back in. All right, now we're doing double feed one last time. Let's try it a little bit more real time. Now, Dryfire isn't just about perfect shots, practice failures too. Now, in many cases, tap rack for both AR-15s and similar types of rifles and for pistols is gonna help you with most malfunctions. Now again, tap rack is if you're pulling the trigger and it's mushy, you're gonna tap your magazine, make sure it's seated all the way. You're gonna rack it to clear whatever may be going on. You're gonna go back up and you're ready to go. All right, and then for one of our more advanced drills, we're gonna do a low light dry fire practice. So in this case, all the safety protocols still exist. You wanna let anyone else in the household know that you're dry firing, and you're gonna be turning the lights off. And what you're gonna do is in your firearm, if you happen to have some kind of flashlight, whether it's your AR or some other rifle, or in this case, my pistol, what you're gonna do is you can do those same drills that you've been doing, but as you come up, you're gonna activate your light. How to get even better. If you want to supercharge dry fire, check these out. Tools like the Mantis X give you real feedback and solutions to improve. Dryfire Mag resets your trigger for faster reps. No more racking the slide between shots. Snap caps allow you to train loading, unloading, and also clearing malfunctions. Mantis Laser Academy shows your hits on the target in real time, and it gamifies your training. And of course, the Mantis Blackbeard X allows you to get trigger resets and a laser for your AR-15. Everything I use is linked down below through my Amazon page. It helps out the channel at no extra cost to you. Dryfire is a cheat code. You can level up faster than 99% of the people out there if you stay consistent. Hey, before you go, if you want to really test your dryfire skills, I'm dropping a special challenge next week. It's called the 1 second challenge. Clean draw, clean hit, all under 1 second. I'll walk you through it, and if you beat the time, you can brag in the comments. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss it. Watch these videos to keep on learning, and I'll see you in the next one.